Abandoned Japanese primary school or prison? Day 22. 17.34 miles.
A lot of nothing.
Yeah, it was pleasant.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It was a beautiful walk. Much better weather, better scenery than yesterday.
Very little traffic on the sort of mountain road we took. But that was after we had some really fun things this morning we should talk about.
Absolutely. We kind of knew going into it that there was going to be a whole lot of nothing. So we kind of planned the route. You know, there's a grocery store that opened at 9. To get there at 9, and while we were walking, I saw this weird thing in the distance.
I think it looked like something from the Jetsons, but you're too young to even know what the hell that is, I think. But
George Jetson, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I had seen a video of it on social media, and I was like, pretty sure that's like the underground aquarium. I looked it up on the map, and I was like, oh, it is the underground aquarium. Just super happenstance. It's like the polar opposite of a traditional aquarium where, you know, you go to the place and the fish are in the tank. Rather, you're in the sort of cage going to where the fish live.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And the fact is, we were at one point, we were I mean, I think there was only one other guy that ended up coming in, but we were the only people there. So we, you know, it was really kind of cool. And we saw how it was put in there in 1972, I think it was, or it opened in 72. So in 71, they put it in there, and it has this spiral staircase that takes you down 20 meters under the surface of the water. And then they have a separate spiral staircase that you go up. It was just, it was fascinating. And I guess a lot cooler when it's just us down there and not throngs of people. But it does appear that it may have be less of a tourist attraction than it was back in the 70s.
Sure. Yeah. And I think, you know, you're starting to see a lot of that with like the sort of countrysides becoming less and less popular.
Yeah.
But it is one of 6. There was 2 others in Wakayama, interestingly enough. One of them in Chiba, one in Okinawa, and then one in sort of off towards Hiroshima area. I forget the Fukuoka or something around that, but yeah, it was cool. And like we had talked about, we, you know, sort of knew there wasn't going to be a lot of services on this road, so we had planned for this grocery store.
Yeah, it didn't open till 9, so we got out, and I mean, and it was a 45-minute walk from our accommodation. So of course we got there much later as a result of all the aquarium stuff. But our initial plan, we left the hotel a little bit later than normal, which was like 8 a.m.-ish, 7:45.
Yeah, 7:45.
Yeah, we decided to do some drones, got some coffee out of a vending machine, saw the aquarium, got to the town at 9, and what do you know? There's a sign on the door that says, "My apologies, I'm taking a rest." So the proprietor had decided that by 10 o'clock they needed a rest.
I mean, when I open a store and, you know, work for an hour, I generally feel like I need a rest after that too.
Yeah, but thankfully, I mean, unlike the day before where we get to Temple, what was that, 38, and all 3 of the 4 restaurants, all 3 of the restaurants are closed. We had gift shop food, which was awful. This one, there was a farmer's market that was open, and we were able to get a bento box to take with us.
Which, speaking of, 500 yen for this bento box, which was just stellar. I mean, it's literally like $3, and yeah, it wasn't like a ton of food, but
delicious.
Yeah, it was super tasty, very filling, and way better than the konbini bento stuff that we had taken.
Yeah, but we left that supermarket, the farmer's market at 10:30. You had to make some bookings, and we left about 10:30, and we arrived because today we were just going from accommodation to accommodation on our way towards the next temple. So we're under no time constraint necessarily to get to this current accommodation. 10:30, and we got here at 4. There was nothing in between. Nothing.
Not even a vending machine.
No vending machines, no toilets, nothing. So thankfully we had picked up the bento and another beverage. It's fine for us.
Be aware, you know, this stretch can be tough without those services. Yeah, we got into our accommodation right around 4. The host was waiting for us, checked us in, and then immediately went to make dinner, it seems like. We were fairly hungry, just curious. I was like, went down there and asked what time dinner was going to be, and he's like, 5:30. And it was 5:15. I was like, oh, shoot.
Wow.
All right, cool. We go down there, and it's, a pretty nice array of food there.
Some sashimi. We had 2 fish, a wonderful salad, great salad, some other pickled vegetables, a great soup with stuff in it. So a really hearty meal. We were the only 2 in there.
Yeah, I asked him for a towel for the shower afterwards, and it looked like a dish towel. It was
slightly larger, but not much.
No, which was hilarious. Cleans up, just leaves.
Yeah. Well, he had mentioned when he was showing us our room, he's like, oh, hey, by the way, this accommodation does dinner, but we don't do breakfast, and, go out this back door here in the morning. We're like, yeah, okay, whatever, that's fine. So finishes dinner, locks the restaurant portion, and he's gone. And
oh, yeah.
We're the only ones here. That's it. We walked out to the conveni to make sure we had breakfast because there won't be anything for about 3 hours in the morning. The place is just unlocked. Come on in, whatever you want. But we thought this might be a good time to talk about just the array of accommodations. Accommodations tend to rule your route and are super important, of course. This one being on the lower priced end of the spectrum.
For sure. Tonight, we paid 4,500 yen with a meal, which is pretty unbelievable. A lot of the places along the route have been about 5 to 5,500 for just a room, no meal.
Yeah, I'd say the average for the room is 5, and then if you were able to get meals, and it's usually 75 to 8,000 with 2 meals. Mm-hmm. That's the normal. That, those can still range depending on the types of beds, and they're always with shared bath, shared toilets. And then on the higher end, we did the bottom of the ropes course.
Yes.
I forgot what temple that was, but
21, I believe. And then, we took the ropes course down. It was literally right at the bottom. Super convenient, don't get me wrong. But that one was 11,000 per person. It was nice. The meals were good.
We have our private bath, right?
Yes, and I think that may have been a good portion of why.
So I should say private toilet.
I say, not a
bath was still like a little onsen where it was communal. I think that might have been the difference there, and I guess there's varying degrees of quality, but my God, it's so hard to book accommodations. Half of them, somebody's got to call. Sometimes you can email them. We've now turned to using the different social media platforms to message these people to try to get a reservation. And it's tricky to know, okay, well, there's, 4 rooms. Like this one that we're at tonight that's inexpensive might have another room. It seems like it has another room back there, but nobody's there.
I was going to say there's a rice paper wall between us and another tatami room that someone could be sleeping in, but I think thankfully for us they're not, because there is only one toilet. But that's a lot of where the price accommodation comes in too. Some of the differences, how many heads are they fitting in per toilet, and then things like the yukata, things like, is it a futon or is it a Western style bed? This one's a first for us tonight. No Wi-Fi.
Yeah, right. And I was thinking about the place we stayed, Temple 11, before the big hill day.
Yeah.
That was we've only been in 2 sort of dorm things, but there must have been 12 of us in there that night. I mean, it was very nice. I mean, they had really nice bunks for everybody to sleep in, but there were 2 toilets, I think. 12 people, 2 toilets. I mean, I don't think they distinguished between boy and girl. So that was a lot of people to toilet ratio. So
6-to-1 was not my favorite ratio.
Right.
So it's been an interesting challenge, and one that has varying degrees of costs and what you're getting for the cost. But ultimately, I'm just glad we're not camping.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Day 23.
Longest day yet.
19 and a half.
Yeah.
Big day.
Big day.
But I think more than 11, probably 12 of those miles were no bag.
Yeah, packless, basically.
Yeah.
We contacted our host at this unique sort of guest house, and we're able to do the interview here tonight in the common area. But we contacted them yesterday and asked if we could drop our bag. No problem. Added about a mile to our day. I think that's what we Google mapped it, but well worth it, being able to do so much of it without the pack. It was really delightful.
Especially because today was a lot of just right along the road. So, doing that without the pack made it a little more bearable. My feet don't hurt quite as much as they otherwise probably would have.
Yeah. But it was pleasant. I mean, we got to go along the coast a little bit earlier in the day, and then through some sort of valleys and things like that, which was kind of cool, along some creeks and things like that. It was kind of nice. And then, of course, that was, I guess, the first, would you say 11 miles to the guest house, and then it was sort of directly inland.
No, sorry, 11 miles, no pack. 11, 12 with no pack, so it should have only been about 7.
7 miles here. Okay, so 7 miles with pack along the coast and valleys, and then from here, the 11 miles out to the temple and back, that was just straight inland, kind of along the road. Not too remarkable, although you did find a trail as we were leaving Temple 39 that went through a little bit of a bamboo forest. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was nice on my feet too.
Yeah.
While, yes, we added a little bit of distance, a lot of it was without the pack, so pros and cons. Definitely was a nice change. So we're going to see about doing more of that moving forward. For this guest house, we made this one on booking.
Yeah, we did bookings, and I've been finding in the bigger towns that more places are available on bookings, and this is a really cute, modern guest house, kind of unlike the traditional ones that we've been in. It doesn't offer food, however, the host did say she has something in the morning that will include a raw egg, which I know we're both excited about before we set off. It's also really cute and all the stuff that they have, and it gives us the opportunity without dinner for Jack to look up new stuff for us to try.
Well, I mean, not necessarily new, but just not Japanese, right? I mean, we've been eating predominantly Japanese, which is wonderful. It's been great, but every now and again I want to change. So in some of the bigger cities, it's nice to be able to go, get Thai food like we did the one night.
Yeah.
And then tonight we got Chinese food. So still, kind of Asian, but it was a good change.
Well, and speaking to that though, on our way out to 39, you took me to
Moss Burger,
which I had previously done.
Yeah, that's the Japanese equivalent of like Burger King, McDonald's.
I would say a lot better than.
I just mean it's fast food, but fast food burgers. But it was their produce is good and the burgers are tasty. I had it was like a ginger sauce on my burger. It was really good. Yeah,
well, mine was really good as well. I had an iced coffee with it, which was perfect. It was a little earlier than normal for breakfast because we had to set out from the last night's guest house with just kombini sort of food, so we were pretty hungry earlier than normal.
I think we ate that one around 11.
Yeah, we made it to 11, which was surprising, but it was good. And really only the second time we've had beef, I think. I know technically there's been some mystery meat that might have been beef once in there, but for the most part it's been chicken, a little bit of pork, and a lot of fish.
Yeah. The other thing that we kind of talked about today while we were walking is on the Camino we had things that we brought that we felt that we didn't need.
And in hindsight, there's a lot we didn't need on the Camino. We were really more diligent, I think, in our packing here.
Yeah, totally. I think I was 13, 14 before any of the camera equipment. So
yeah, and same here. I mean, I think we both ended up, I was probably right at 20 with the camera equipment. You're slightly over that. But you were asking a good question, which is what do you wish you hadn't brought and what do you wish you had brought? I think the two questions. My answer, of course, was, because you were kidding me, was the hairbrush and hair gel, which, if it's not obvious, I haven't bothered to use at all. I don't know why I don't just throw it out at this point. What was your answer?
So mine was just for a camera equipment standpoint. We've used the drone here and there, but I've never used more than one battery, and I'm carrying around 3.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's pretty heavy. And then for our 360 camera, we've got this really long pole that we can use. And I've got some great shots with it, but maybe I'm personal preference, I've not been creative enough to use it more often. But then as far as things that I wish I had brought, or things that I wish I had, gloves in the first sort of week would have been killer. And then the couple days that it rained, like an umbrella.
Yeah.
Which don't feel like you have to bring those, but like if you see rain coming up in the forecast and there's a convenience store, they all sell them. They sell the gloves, they sell the t-shirts, they sell undies, they sell everything, those freaking things. So yeah, you can get the gloves, you can get the umbrella at the convenience store. Like, don't feel like you have to bring it.
And the reason you need it is really because that water and the rain has sort of penetrated everything. At one point, I got my stamp book wet, things within our backpack, because of course it covers the outer shell, but these are just buckets of water coming down on us. So it got into a lot. So an umbrella would help to, it'd still be miserable, but it would keep some of the rain out of those areas that aren't protected.
Anything else you wish you brought?
Yeah, no, not too much that I wish I brought. Motorcycle, would that be maybe? But
Just the
postal guys,
just putting along.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do enjoy this content, please leave us a like, leave us a comment, drop a subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. You take care now. Bye-bye.